Hey, how's it going? This is Zoran. Uh, you can call me Z, make it easier. Okay, I have a few concerns and questions and comments that I'm I wouldn't say very, but somewhat concerned about. I've been watching lately, and of course, so this COVID 19 gives me more opportunity to browse on the net, unfortunately. Of course, I'd rather be working, but regardless. I've been watching a lot lately about a secret space program, about with David Wilcox, Corey Good, Emery Smith, and all these people, and so on, Sala, and Laura Eisenhower, and so on and so forth, And I believe that any of that, information is possible or very possible somewhat. But there's still a lot of questions that are really hard to convince, or topics, I should say. And here's the part that kind of bothers me. I hear sometimes, let's just get something straight. I have nothing against religion, okay? I believe that everybody has a right to believe what they want to believe and, follow whichever guide they feel is right for them and their family, and that's understandable, okay? But here's the part that kind of bothers me. When I listen to him, okay, I haven't heard too many about other people, but mainly to him, it's kind of confusing. And some of these guys, they're slamming the Vatican, okay? What I mean is they criticize the Vatican for holding information regarding Mars, regarding other aliens that are supposedly in their archives, in the Vatican, supposedly. I can't prove it, but this is what I heard. And I'm just trying to express what I don't understand. And maybe if he hears this, maybe he can explain better why and, maybe answer my questions, hopefully. If David Wilcock is hearing this, I hope he can answer this question. Well, my question is, why do they accuse Vatican of holding all this information? And they seem like they're the bad people, and yet he keeps going back on the Bible and quoting Jesus' Bible. So is the Vatican wrong or right? Are they liars or honest? Because I'm very, very, very confused. Because here's what I understand. The Bible was translated by people within the church. I don't know the full extent, but my understanding is they were run by the church or whatever religion to translate these scrolls into language that they could, turn back towards what considered English. Because there's a lot of things that is hard to translate, or maybe they may change the wording to make it sound more easier to understand or more accepting to understand. Who knows what it is? Anyways, so what I understand is if he's saying that the Vatican is holding this information and doing a lot of lying, to not tell the truth. So are they telling us that the Bible that they translated is wrong, is not true? So if that's the case, then why does he keep referring to the Bible when he keeps talking about, ascending and this and that? I'm very, very confused on it. Maybe he can elaborate. Is the church the liar or the church the truth? That's what I need to understand. Because if I need to, accept this, I need to know where he's going with this. Okay? So that's really confusing me. Now, I'm not saying that the church is right, because personally, I'm going to be honest, I don't go to church. Why? I have my reasons, and I'd rather not discuss it, but if everybody wants to go, that's their prerogative, and they're welcome to do what they feel is right for them. But I just wanted to clear that up, that it's very confusing, okay? Because if you're going to say they're bad, then why do you keep referring to the Bible? So in other words, you're kind of contradicting them because you're saying that they're a liar. So if they're a liar, that means what the Bible is the truth. Well, now I'm doubting if the Bible was the truth. But you're talking, you keep quoting like the Bible is the truth. So that means the Vatican must be honest. So you can't be both. You can't be honest with the Bible that they translated and be dishonest with the public, with the people. Doesn't make sense. You have to be either one way or the other. So that's what I don't understand. Like I said, I'm not slamming the Vatican. I'm not, disturbing any religion. I just want to understand that question, where he's going with this. And another thing too, he claims he's not a guru, he's not a leader, he's not a cult. Okay, fine. You may not be like Charles Manson, so to speak, like that kind of groupish kind of people, or, here's what I see what he is. And don't get me wrong, he seems to have a lot of information of what things go, and that I have no disagreement with that. But what bothers me is he's saying is that he keeps quoting like a church and, pay my course and we could pray together and meditate and this and that. He may not be an in-person guru, but he's an online guru to me. Okay, he's got followers, he's got people, like a sheep, and to me, I don't really follow that. That's not my business or concern. I just need to understand where he's going with this. Does he want to be an informant, or does he want to be like a Dalai Lama? Because that's what it seems like. He's starting to go more into the Dalai Lama aspect than being an informant to explain. Okay, so I got that out of the way. I don't want to get too much into that, but if you want to talk about it, then we can discuss it. If you want to leave a comment and tell me what you like to discuss, and then we can, I'll give you my opinion, what I think. Okay, next thing is I'm really confused about this ascension. Maybe he can clarify that, because here's my, philosophy and understanding about ascension. Obviously, I'm not a PhD, I'm not a master's, I'm not a Bachelor of Arts and all that stuff, or science, or whatever mind you have you. I only got a high school degree. It's enough. I wouldn't say it's enough for me. I'd like to get more, but I'm too old for that. But anyways, regardless, what I don't understand is with this ascension, it boggles the mind that people would assume that we are going to have alien visitation sometime in the next couple of years, or sooner, who knows when, or whether we're going to be around for that, okay? Now, what I don't understand is humans have been around for what? Let's say, jokingly, 10,000 years or 100,000 years, okay? Even more, 100,000 years, okay? Even according to Jesus' time, this was like, BC or AD or whatever it was. This is like, how many people were floating back then? So you're telling me the time of Jesus until the time now, nobody's been floating, nobody's been levitating rocks, nobody's been teleporting, but all of a sudden now that David Wilcock comes into service, so now we're gonna start having all this, alien visitation. We're gonna start flying. Now, this is where I get a little bit twitchy on this, because it's a little bit hard to believe. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, because I can't prove that would never happen. What I can prove is how many has happened, and if they have, well, they must be very lucky, because, maybe only a few can do that. Not everybody. But he's acting like everybody's going to start doing it because of the solar event. We're all going to be levitating. We're all going to be lifting up stones or flying through galaxies. And listen, and everybody's all concerned. How do we prepare? How do we get ready? What do we do? Who's going to get picked? Who's not going to get picked? To me, this feels like the movie Poltergeist, when I don't know if it was I think it was the second movie where they show the scene with the priest in the cave. And this priest led all these people in the cave, and they sealed the cave. It was like in a mine shaft or something like that. This was during the 1800s or something like that. During the Western time, or if I remember correctly, I could be wrong. Okay? And he sealed it, and everybody was thinking it's the end of the world, and they're going to be saved, and if you pray, we're gonna bring you to a new world, and of course they all died. And now whether they went somewhere and all that, anyways, the priest became a unsettled, begruntled spirit, something like that. So I'm thinking it feels like it's going to be in that situation. Now, to me, I just don't understand. How is it that we haven't been doing that before, but all of a sudden now we are? I don't know. I apologize. Maybe it's just me. It's just me. I'm not open-minded. I try to be open-minded. I want to understand this, because I would like. You don't think I'd like to levitate things? You don't think I'd like to teleport and go out my door and fly to Hawaii, fly to California, fly to Philippines, fly to, China, and I would love nothing more. Save me money on, go to Mars, go to any planet I can survive. So this is what part I don't understand, and that's about it. Another thing that really confuses me is slavery. He talks about the cabal, okay, the Illuminati, deep state, whatever you want to call it, and he says we have to stop the deep state, this and that. And here's the part that kind of confuses me. Why are people would be so shocked? And this is what he keeps saying. Well, people are going to be so shocked about slavery, about this and that. Let's get something straight, okay? Let's get it on the floor, right on the table, no BS, be honest. We have had, unfortunately, slavery since the time before even Christ, before the time of Jesus, okay? Even before the time of the Romans, okay? Even the time of, the Spartans, the time every military has done this. Almost every country has done this. China has done it. Japan has done it. Germany has done this. USA has done that during the Civil Wars. Even before that, English and French and almost every country I could think of have done this. Okay, especially English and France, Portuguese, Spanish, so every country has done this at one time or another. Now, why do they do this? Well, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, they've done this very simple. You can't go up to somebody and go, hey, you want to work for free? You can't. Go, how are you going to feed it? Here's one bowl of rice a day. Well, this is where they get you, whether you like it or not, okay? And this is considered slavery, forced labor, they feed you just to keep you working alive, and if you're no good, then they decide what they're going to do with you. And this is not humanity. This is not right. This is like a shame, okay? We have to remember that this generation have been born in an era where slavery is practically zero to none on a more visible, open timetable, so to speak. We don't see it every day anymore. Last time we had slavery was during the Civil War, in the States, and it took, a couple of years. Mind you, we still had some of it, but it was a little bit more behind the scenes during the 60s and 70s and so on, but it wasn't as open. It was more like less. It was more compressed, so to speak. Like I said, I'm not an expert. This is what I understand. So, a lot of people will be shocked and surprised that we still have it. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. Now, do I think it's right? Heck no. I don't believe it's right at all. Okay? I believe that people should wake up and, say, hey, enough is enough. We're humans. We're not animals. Okay? But people don't want to pay. They don't want to support properly. They don't care. Well, as far as I'm concerned, people like that should not get any pity. But anyways, this is why people would not accept it. But we have to accept things can happen. Now, regardless of the secret space program, as they keep indicating, yes, I believe slavery is very, very, very possible in space regarding UFOs. Why would that happen? Well, a lot of people keep asking, why they do this? It's a very, very, very simple concept, in my opinion, why they would do this. It's kind of hard to go to you or go to people and say, excuse me, would you like to work in space for free? Would you like to, and a lot of times, to be honest, even they mention space to go to another planet, as soon as they say yes, they grab them right away. They're not going to say, okay, go home and think about it. What's the first thing they're going to do? Start calling up their friends and go, you believe this? This guy keep talking about space and Mars and this and that. And they're like, what the hell is he talking about? Oh, he said, I'm going to go travel to another planet. Hello? You don't think this is going to go in the news pretty fast? So yes, they will abduct you and they'll exchange you for technology, because you have to understand, aliens, or ETs as they would call it, we call it aliens because it's more simplified to accept to say, but ETs don't exactly have currency. They don't have money in their pocket. I don't think they even have pockets. So they're not going to go, oh, you got how much? $10,000? No problem. Here's $10,000. It doesn't work that way. So they say is, well, what do you got that I can give you? So they say, here's 10 humans for DNA, for slavery, for whatever. What do you got? Okay, exchange. Have a nice day. That's basically how they see it. Whether it's labor, sex slaves, DNA research, or food. Like who knows? Who knows what else? Selling it off to somebody else. They use them to trade somewhere else to another galaxy. God forbid, but it can happen. It probably could happen. And this is why they abduct you, and they don't even tell you, because they don't want people to talk about it. Now, the only reason why we hear about this is because of people that come out, luckily to come out surviving. They manage to remember and they manage to discuss this. This is why a lot of people don't understand this. Well, it's very simple to understand, because this is on the outside. This is not happening here. So nobody want to discuss it here because it's not happening on Earth. It's happening somewhere else. And what we don't see, what we can't witness, what we can't prove, it's all hearsay. Okay? This, I do believe, is a very possibility, because frankly, be honest, we have had multiple histories, multiple years of this kind of stuff happen over the centuries. And now a lot of people say, well, this is the 21st century. We can't believe we still have it. Well, regardless, we have it, whether we like it or whether we don't. Anyways, so that's just my concern. I just wanted to share. And if you have any questions or anything you want to talk about, feel free to send me a message anytime. Okay? So thanks a lot, and hope to see you soon.